Now's the time in the anime season where it starts biting. Shows from the start of week 1 are starting to repeat themselves. Meanwhile, new shows are starting to air all week. I'm keeping up with it just about though, and today I'm going to bring you 4 new shows which have started airing over the last few days, and tell you what I think of them. Because this is a 2019 winter anime preview, from a different perspective. Now stop me if you've heard this one before. A cute girl, wandering the streets of Tokyo, is suddenly whisked away to a magical world. A magical world where she meets a prince. Actually, she meets a dozen princes, all of which want to whisk her away off her feet and make her a woman. Stop me if you've heard this one before, because you don't have to. You probably have. You've probably heard it a dozen times already. That's the same bloody plot of most anime of this type. Welcome to a world of Meiji Tokyo Enka, the latest anime to take the trope of an isekai series onto the female stage by doing the same thing as the last 5 bloody shows which have done the same thing before it. So yeah, this time our flavour is the Meiji era, and our cute little girl is a girl called Ayazuki Mei, and she is a bit of a loner. She apparently can see ghosts and chat to ghosts, which makes her kind of a loner at school, but she's okay with it. Well, she's probably not happy about it, but she just walks home with her headphones on, listening to music, not paying any attention to them, just trying to ignore the ghosts. Until one day she meets a magician who throws her in a box and she ends up in another world. Technically it's our world, just for some years in the past, in the Meiji era of Tokyo. And of course this is also quite a good trend for the series as well, because how many of these shows not only send them to another world, but that world is either an alternative history or our history of Japan. These shows are really made for Fujoshi. It used to be that Fujoshi liked nothing more than to look at the Sengoku era of Japan, with all the warring generals replaced by pretty boys. But now it's all about pretty girls being transported back, being whisked off their feet by the prince. And how many times also has that prince turned out to be quite a Prince Charming type who will whisk off her feet and take advantage of her? Because let's be honest, it's taken a princess stereotype a little bit far, when at the end of the first episode, not only has she been whisked off her feet into another world, she's been told that she's already his fiancée, without her even being told, when all she wants to do is just party down and eat some beef. I like this girl. Again, that's another thing which is quite common in these shows. The main characters are very likeable, and this character is really likeable, but she's stuck in a show which really does not deserve her. I would talk about the male characters, but you've already met them all. They're the same characters in every other show like this. You got the red-headed princely type who is going to be the main male lead. You got the shy artsy one. You got the in-your-face one, which is quite tsundere. You got the cutesy one. You got the one with a mascot. You got the one which is quite angry all the time. The two of which are rivals of each other. And the mysterious one which caused all the trouble. So yeah, you got all the characters already. I said I didn't remember them all. I still don't. I just plucked those names out of thin air. So should you really watch Meiji Tokyo Enka? Well, do you dream of being whisked off your feet by a prince, whisked back to a historical setting and taken advantage of? Is it your dream to be locked away in a cage and stared at by princes all the time? If it is, you're going to love this show. If you like a good story, and an original story of that, there are much better shows out there. You can find this one over at Crunchyroll. Welcome to Old Home. Old Home Orphanage, where the children are brought up perfect in their innocence, caged in a world which they are told is dangerous to go outside. But this isn't Hibernate Renmei we're watching. Nope. This is The Promised Neverland, the latest anime to start airing on HIDIVE this season. And first instincts is, well, you already know, it's very much like Hibernate Renmei. You got innocent youths being brought up in a closed area. They're not too interested in going into the outside world because they have everything they need inside their sanctum, but there's an inkling about what would happen if they did go over the wall. Of course, Hibernate Renmei is a very atmospheric view of the scenario. We don't know which angle The Promised Neverland is going to take at this point. We are introduced to our main 3 characters, Emma, Norman and Ray, the 3 most intelligent children in the orphanage. And of course the orphanage starts looking a bit strange around lunchtime when there's a particularly interesting look at not what we're wearing, but what's on their necks. Why local kids in orphanage have numbers on their necks? Is this some kind of scientific experiment? We're doing some kind of tests all the time to see who's the smartest one out of a lot of them. Of course, the 3 main ones always get the top marks. But why are they testing the orphans? I mean, are these going to rich families who only want smart children? Is it custom children? So if you want a child who's very good at music but terrible at sports, you can choose which one you want. Pick your own kid farm. Farming kids would be a bit cruel, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Because Promised Neverland is not what it seems at all. Because this is most definitely not Hibernate Renmei. This is not old homes. This is the pride and joy of lizard folk everywhere. Boy farm. And girl farm. But mostly boy and girl farm. As we learn out quite gruesomely as the cute, innocent young kid who's taken away is grey and dead in the back of a lorry, being looked after by some lizardmen who got some woman farming kids for their food. Yeah, things most definitely aren't all bright and rosy in this world. And I will be honest, I knew they wanted to get outside. I knew that premise about the anime beforehand, and I knew that the outside wasn't as bright and rosy as they thought it was going to be. But even I didn't realise what was going to happen. I mean, it hit me like, bam. Yeah, that was kind of a big shocker. I'm not quite sure what to make. I mean, I'm still sitting here slightly in shock. But it's a show which it's got a fantastic art style. I mean, the characters, they look young. The characters look interesting. They're not the usual kiddie designs. There's a weird style to their face which I can't quite place. And there's sort of like a melancholy air about the entire show. Whilst it has this rather gruesome undertones, it has this bright and sunny overtones, and it's left feeling a bit weird, and I want to know more about it. I want to know what's going to happen. This is one show which you definitely need to watch for yourself, because until you experience what goes on in the show, you really don't know what I'm talking about, do you? As mentioned earlier, you can find this one on High Dive. It's well worth a watch. You know, some anime is destined just for me to like it. Nowhere more is the case than Girly Air Force. I mean, just look at that show. It looks like a brand new series, just designed to be as much like the Third Aerial Girl Squad as possible. Now, if you don't recognise the name Third Aerial Girl Squad, then you clearly haven't watched a fantastic Shirobako. It's an anime which they animated in Shirobako, about a bunch of girl fighter pilots. And it's the type of anime which you really want to see made into a real one because it looks really interesting. And though imagine my delight when I see a poster this season for an anime which looks pretty much like the Third Aerial Girl Squad, and that anime is Girly Air Force. Well, the name itself doesn't immediately jump out at me as being fantastic. You know, Girly Air Force? That just makes it feel like a more pink Air Force. Although, as it's a Girly Air Force, I don't mind the idea, because as long as it's got cute girls and it's a cute show, that's fine by me. So imagine my delight when I start watching it and main character's a guy. Strike one for Girly Air Force. If you're going to have an Air Force, and have an Air Force full of girls, don't just make it a harem anime. This is just going to turn out like Infinite Stratos, isn't it? With a one main character and all the female cast just throwing themselves on him? I hope not. I've seen enough anime like that to know where this is going. But we have our main characters escaping on some kind of giant boat from a war-torn out. There's some kind of mysterious force using weird neon fighter planes, and the Japanese and normal fighter planes aren't doing anything at all up against it. They're just flying into it and exploding. Although I have seen that type of plane before. It's like the Neuro back again. This isn't connected to Strike Witches, is it? If we get to see a girl flying in on what is not really a plane, it's just a pair of boots, then I'll take back everything I said about the show, because I'm all for more Strike Witches. But no. Instead, an actual plane comes through, glowing like with enemy planes. And with sound effects and missiles and fighting, which is straight from Strike Witches, only without the witches themselves, the battle is over. The good guys have won, and then crashes. And who's to come out of this plane? we don't know until the main character jumps over and saves the day. And, wouldn't you know it, it's a girl. A girl who immediately jumps up and kisses him. Yep, this is definitely going to be one of those shows where all female characters just want to jump on the main character and love him. I mean, it has even more in common with Infinite Stratos when we find out that the female lead, not the girl in the plane, the other girl, I think her name was Minghua, was basically just strike witches with a Japanese aerial self-defense force fighting aliens straight from strike witches. I've got no idea what to make of this one. It seems so jumbled up and so generic in places. They had such a fantastic shot at making the third aerial girl squad, but instead they made a cross between strike witches and Infinite Stratos. And they've seemed to have taken the worst aspects of both of them. This one's airing over at Crunchyroll. Some shows, you look at the poster and you know it's probably going to be trash, and you want to watch it just to see how much of a train wreck it's going to be. Nowhere more was that the case than the Quintessential Quintuplets, that mouthful of an anime, which is basically a harem on steroids. Meet our main character, Futaro Utsugi. He's a poor guy. He's very smart, but he uses that intelligence to make sure he doesn't spend too much money. Yet he always orders the cheapest thing on the menu, which is a beef bowl minus a beef, because it's cheaper than just buying rice. And he's always hungry because of it. He goes home to his poor, flat above a shop, with his little sister and his father, and they live I won't say happy life, they live a reasonable life for their low amount of money. They're heavily in debt, they're always trying to make some money to make it ends meet. And so imagine their luck when a brand new job comes up. It's a job which pays 5 times the normal rate as well. It's a job for him to be a tutor. I mean, that's the reason why he's intelligent, isn't it? In order to earn money being a tutor. Makes sense, really. And of course, he's going to jump at the chance of being a tutor, isn't he? Of course, it should take no guesses whatsoever, but one of the girls he's going to be tutoring is a brand new girl in his class. The beautiful Itsuki Nakano. A rich girl as well. In fact, they get off to a rather bad start when she wants the same table as he does. They end up eating on the same table and pissing each other off. She's a rich girl eating more than her fill. He's a poor boy eating less than he needs to eat. He calls her fat, she calls him a nerd. They get off like a house on fire. But when he learns that that's a girl he's going to be tutoring, he doesn't want to be seen as being a bit of a jerk. He wants his job. Crucially, he wants the money. So he tries to find a way to kiss up to her again, get back on her good side, apologise for calling her fat. But in doing so, he comes off as a bit of a stalker to her 4 friends. Her 4 friends being Nino, Ichika, Yotsuba, and Miku. Yeah, these are basically your harem tropes, right here and there, in 5 girl form. Well, it should be 5 because the name of the show involves Quint after all. And of course, more observant amongst you will notice the name of the show actually includes the word quintuplets, because despite how dissimilar these characters look, these 5 girls are quintuplets. They're all sisters. They look to be fraternal quintuplets, which raises further questions, but I suppose it could potentially happen. And of course, none of the girls really like our main character, with the exception of Yotsuba, who is friendly to everyone. She's also probably the dumbest out of a bunch of them, getting 0 out of 100 in the test. But through a series of events, eventually he decides that yes, he is going to tutor his girls. Of course, he realises that 5 times the salary is because there's 5 times the students. Yeah, he's going to be teaching a class of 5 because these girls are all thick as 2 short planks. I think we can mould them into something decent. Whilst they're all apparently quite dumb, they're all failing, Itsuki at least looks like she's going to be smart, so I imagine with a bit of work, he should be able to get them all to pass, hopefully. One thing which interests me is the fact that there's a flashback, or flash forward possibly, to a wedding between what looks like Futaro and Itsuki. Foreshadowing to the end of the series. Are you just telling us which girl's going to win the harem straight away, so we don't have to worry? To be fair, of all 5 girls, Itsuki's the main one and most attractive one out of a lot of them. Don't get me wrong, I like the other girls, Miku's quite cute. But if any of them was going to win, of course it's going to be Itsuki really, isn't it? I mean, she's got stars in her hair, for crying out loud. No, I don't hate this one. I really should. Everything about it screams train wreck to me. This is not terrible. It's watchable. It's turn your brain off fun. I don't go into it expecting the works of Shakespeare. But if you go into it just wanting to lose a few brain cells over half an hour, but come out enjoying it, this is a good show to watch. You can find this one over at Crunchyroll. There were some shows this episode that I just wanted to get out of the way. The moment I started watching them, I wanted to stop. But then again, there were some shows which I started watching them and I was surprised by how good they were, or at how bad they weren't. Will this continue over the next episode? Join me next time. But thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.